How's it going, everyone? It's Drago. So I know I am a little bit late to the party on this one. I'm going to talk about the sequel to Venom, mainly just because Venom is one of my favorite villains of all time, which I'm just going to talk about things I liked and things I mostly disliked. So spoilers, also I know I said it in my previous video, but I'm going to be doing a Q&A for 200 subs. If you have any questions you would like to ask for that, feel free to ask multiple. Leave that in the comments below. So starting off talking about Venom, I think Tom Hardy is really good as a Venom, but the material he is given in a movie is not good. I mean, like, a lot of the problems that they solved between, like, his conflict between himself as Eddie Brock and with Venom, they just completely forgot about that in the second movie, and they're just like a bickering couple for literally the whole movie. But basically, like, him playing Venom, like, you know, him like talking to himself, people think he's crazy, but it's actually him talking to the Venom symbiote. I think he plays it very well. And let's say he was like in the MCU or like a movie with just better writing, he would be like one of the most perfect Venoms you could possibly have. But it really is like, well, if you liked him in the first one, you probably like him in this one. I still despise that he does not have the spider symbol. I also despise that he still had no origin related to Spider-Man. But himself, I thought it was pretty fun. Really didn't need to see the freaking rave Venom with him being all sad about everything. Eddie and Venom are honestly the best part of this whole movie. The rest of this movie is absolute trash. Mainly the guy I have the most problems with, which is Carnage. I was so looking forward to Carnage, you know, just like Venom, he's one of my favorite villains. You really need to do this movie as an R-rated movie. You just can't do freaking Carnage at PG-13. A lot of the times they implied he killed a lot of people, but they didn't show him really entirely brutally killing people. So at no point was I really even scared or afraid of him. Oh, he's just like some crazy psychopath that they say killed a lot of people, but they're not really showing him being the crazy psychopath. You know, why is he so interested in Eddie? I mean, like, what was his plan with that one? Because he didn't know, like, Eddie had the symbiote until he actually bit him. Like, he didn't know he was some crazy alien man until he bit him. So what was the end goal? Like, I know by the end he's like, I just wanted a friend, which is like really this crazy psychopath killer, aka Carnage, just wanted a friend. I'm gonna press a hard X for doubt. He was saying, I know towards the end of the film he's saying stuff about like, I need you to say both sides of the story, but that could have been literally with any journalist. And also, speaking of journalism, like, Eddie is trash at journalism. Oh my goodness, he's literally supposed to be a journalist, but gosh, he did not care at all in this movie. Which, especially since he said he wanted to get away from Venom, it'd be like, maybe you should do this journalist stuff, because that could get you away from Venom. If you do the story right on Cletus Cassidy, you might get, you know, famous again, which he did. So going back to Carnage, like, why is he wanting a friend and a wife so badly? Like, literally in the comics and stuff, he's literally like the pure, like, embodiment of crazy and evil. Literally all he wants is Carnage. So I sincerely doubt he would want a friend slash a wife. Carnage's design in this movie, literally, just something about it, honestly, he kind of looked orange to me. He didn't look full on red that he should. Just something about his symbiote in general just did not look great to me. And also, did he even do his like little like axe hands? Now, getting into a character that annoyed me even more than Carnage did, because I was very upset with how they handled him, was Shriek. But she honestly should have been Scream, because that's all she does in this movie is scream. And honestly, most of this movie, I thought she was like the Jamaican lady from Pirates of the Caribbean. So she has no problem murdering people or seeing Cletus murder anyone. So why the flip at the end of the movie did she be like, oh no, you can't murder this chick, and she screams at both of them, causing them to lose the symbiotes and stuff. Literally, her turn on a dime made zero sense, and honestly, her whole character as a whole freaking sucked. Her being Screech was a really bad idea. I honestly feel like she should have been like Scream, because her whole power is screaming, and it would have been maybe more interesting to even give her the a symbiote, because that's what Scream has, at least in the comics, is she has a symbiote. These movies literally just make me realize how much I would have loved to have Spider-Man within these things. Venom versus Carnage, then I'm like, this is cool, and Eddie's getting his butt handed to him, which is literally why, he had to team up with Spider-Man in the first place to defeat Carnage in the comics. It just makes me be like, gosh dang, man, I really wish Spider-Man and Venom were fighting Carnage right now. We're not getting that movie, and we probably won't get that movie for at least like 10 to 15 years. Like, they're not gonna revisit this anytime soon. And as someone that like grew up with that, that hurts me, man. It's like, oh my goodness, the one comic I wanted them to adapt like perfectly, and Sony always messes it up. This is why it's like, Sony, please stop making movies. Your Marvel movies are trash. You don't understand people. This is why Marvel in the MCU does so well, because they're at least understanding their characters. Which, going in to the MCU now, apparently Venom is in the MCU now. I'm gonna guess that is immediately right after Spider-Man Far From Home, because that's like the same broadcast from that movie. So is this like implying that Venom's actually in No Way Home? Maybe. I would personally love that, because he's maybe in the MCU now. It maybe rewrites Venom's character to where you just forget the previous two Venom movies happened, and we can actually have Venom fighting Spider-Man, maybe with like implanted memories, because theoretically, this Venom and Eddie, when they get up and they see this news broadcast about Spider-Man's Peter Parker, I think Eddie definitely looks like he has no idea who this kid is. But Venom licking the screen like he has some connection with him is like, I sincerely doubt that Tom Holland has had the symbiote on at all in the MCU. That'd be a pretty big detail to skip over. Unless if Venom has memories from the past about Peter, because he does talk about we have like generations of intelligence as symbiotes. Theoretically, he could maybe have some form of interaction, but as far as I can tell, both Venom and Eddie have no interaction, no reason to even like be so excited about Peter. I will say it is probably going to lead to Venom actually having the spider symbol. It really is, at the end of the day, they should not know who Peter is at all, and they should have no reason to even be excited to see him. I very much would prefer, since maybe he is part of the MCU, that Kevin Feige was like, okay, let's rewrite this dude and like basically forget that the previous two Venom movies existed and just pretend like he is a brand new character. I'd be totally fine with that if you rewrote him, and especially since that was probably Doctor Strange's spell that brought him there. It's got the same kind of look to it. Maybe that magic has weird effects, because like from the No Way Home trailer, you got like Doc Ock and the Green Goblin. I think it's supposed to have Sandman, particularly Doc Ock and like Sandman. They would have no reason to attack Peter if they're the same ones from the Sam Raimi universe, because they both basically decided not to be bad guys at the end of their films. So why are they all of a sudden bad guys again? It wouldn't surprise me if whatever this Doctor Strange spell was, that if it like maybe messes with memories of these villains, to where even if they were good in their universe, they came over and they just were still villains. So it wouldn't surprise me if that could have an effect on Venom to make him be like a villain and forget about the previous other two movies. I don't know, it's just sad for me because I love this guy so much, and I just want him to have some better movies and actually go up against Spider-Man. So what do you think of Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage? Leave your comments down below and leave your Q&A comments down below. This has been Drago, signing out.